Hi, my name is Carrie Gardy. I'm the director of the Career Development Center at Kutztown University. This presentation is geared toward professionals who've been in the workforce for a few years and are interested in learning the best strategies in 2025 to assist them with their job search. During this presentation, I'll cover strategies for you to strengthen your brand and market yourself. I'll cover the top 2 strategies for searching, and we'll end with some tips using AI to be better prepared. One thing to consider when someone is starting a job search is that it is really your own sales and marketing campaign. You're the product, and therefore you need to know all the features, values, and benefits you can offer these prospective employers. The important thing to keep in mind is that when we're searching, we have to highlight our value proposition to these decision makers and really detail for them, as you can see on the slide, how you can solve their problems, meet their goals, assist their team members, etc. One important tip, obviously, is before you begin to update all of your documents, your profiles, resume, sample cover letters that you might use for different positions, your LinkedIn profile, but really take a step back and look at those pieces. You may or may not have been updating them over the years and determine, should you start from scratch? Should you try a new format, a new font style, a new email address? So when you check this account, you know it's related to your latest search. Those are some pieces to get ready, and feel free to get some feedback from mentors, colleagues, supervisors, because we often don't see it the way they see it, because we've been looking at our LinkedIn profile, for example, for quite a while. So it might need a refresh. It might need just some more details or changes, things removed. So it's always good to get some feedback on that. What to consider when looking for a job. It's always good at any juncture in our lives to take a couple steps back and reflect before moving forward. So really, when we lose an opportunity, lose our job, or we are making a change in our lives and need to or want to switch to a new role or a new company, it's a great time to step back and think about, well, what are my interests? I haven't maybe thought about that in a while, but what parts of my roles over the years have been very rewarding? The time just flies when I'm engrossed in this task at work. Why did I start this role? Why did I become interested in this? You can take it as far back as you want, maybe in college. Why did you select that major? Think about really what prompted your interest in this area, or even just aspects of your role that were of interest to you, and what wasn't. Often when we know what we don't find joy in, that helps us figure out what we do find joy in. Your skills and abilities. So, okay, what are you able to offer this prospective employer in 2025? So what are your current skills and abilities? Where are your areas of strength? We're not going to focus on what's lacking, although it's certainly helpful to do that and see if you can bring some deficits or just maybe lack of experience up as well. But focus on what you can offer and what your strengths are. Think about prior evaluations that you've had from supervisors. What have they shared? Talk to colleagues, former colleagues. What would you say are my greatest strengths? That's always interesting to see how others perceive you. Values, what's important to you? Any change in our lives can be positive in terms of having us evaluate, well, what is important to me now? And is it more about lifestyle and flexibility? Or is it about finances and benefits? So thinking about those things and really coming up with this profile of who you are today and what you're looking for, so your next step is a really good and positive one for you. Personal preferences, again, just how we approach life, how we approach work. Do we want variety? Do we want surprises? Do we want something more planful? Do we want to travel? Do we not want to travel? All of those, of course, play into what we're looking for and what we apply for and inquire about. And then geographic location. So now might be a time to look into that. Companies offering hybrid or remote roles allow us a lot more flexibility. But again, it's just a reminder that now might be a good time to make some changes and consider some different things that maybe you hadn't before. Top two strategies for job searching and where people go wrong. Number one is, I'm sure you've heard of this term before, networking. But what does that really mean today? And why is it still the number one way to find opportunities? Well, here's some stats for you. You'll see different ones in different places, but the message is the majority of jobs are secured, even today, through social and professional networks. They are not found through going on your computer every day, once a week, and looking at the postings on those mega sites, Indeed, Glassdoor, etc. There are positions there. You will see them apply, as will many people see them and apply. And obviously they work or those sites wouldn't exist, but the majority are found through humans connecting with other humans. 70% of jobs are never publicly posted, reiterating how positions are filled from that human to human connection. The reason that percentage is a little lower than the top bullet is because organizations, businesses, companies, agencies might post positions on their own website. So they might do that and social media, but they aren't often posting them on these mega sites. And the third bullet there is just to keep in mind that, we don't have to be great friends or have an understanding of how we even connected with this person. But there's a lot of we have our own network, but then there's the rings of networks beyond, and you just never know who knows who. And even if you have a weak tie, this is my spouse's cousin's aunt or uncle, for example, you just never know how that person might be able to assist and take advantage of those weak ties that we do have. So knowledge is power, and I'm sure you've heard that saying before. And one way to strengthen a really positive, amazing way to strengthen your knowledge, to gain a better understanding of your next role, of what's out there, of people in their roles, of organizations, employers, and maybe minimally just expand your network on LinkedIn, is through informational interviewing. Informational interviewing, if you aren't aware of this term, is exactly what it sounds like. You are interviewing someone for information. You're not interviewing for a job. That might result from this conversation with this new contact, but the goal is really to get advice or insight. Advice or insight. So it's talking to people, and you've probably done this over the years. Maybe organically it happened at an event, a family function, but it's talking to people and asking them about them. How did they get into their field? What exactly do they do? What type of organization is it that they work for? What's a typical week like? We encourage our college students to do this, but this is valuable for everyone throughout our entire lifetime, is to be curious and inquisitive and really gain an understanding of what people are doing every day. And they might say something that really resonates with you. And you think, well, I like that aspect of what they do, but I'm not really interested in this. So I think I want to pivot and go more in this direction. It's just extremely valuable. Also, today, it's super simple. We can, of course, talk on the phone as we've done for quite a while. But now today there's Microsoft Teams, there's Zoom, that you can say to someone when you send an email, you can type that you're interested in getting their advice or insight. Could I have 20 minutes of your time? I can send you a Zoom link. We can talk over Teams. We can talk just over the phone. But I'd love just 20 minutes of your time to learn about what you do and learn a little bit more about your organization. And then if someone gave you their name, you can say, I got your information from this person at this company. They said you might be able to assist me. And people are usually pretty good with getting back and helping someone if all you're asking for is 20 minutes. Then the goal is from that conversation, before you disconnect with that person, always try to get another contact. So we're having a conversation and you would say to me, Carrie, this was really helpful. I really like to keep this going and try to meet as many people in this industry as I can. Would you have a name and an email of someone that you think would be willing to talk to me and maybe teach me some different things that we didn't cover today? And of course, that person would give you that name, and then you reach out and you give my name as to where you got their contact info from. Then jump on LinkedIn and connect with me on there, and then you can see all of my connections. The other thing that comes from this is just insight that you wouldn't otherwise get from that person, maybe in terms of their hiring practices, their interviewing process, or again, just general information about their role and the industry and the company. But also, maybe a week later, I get a notification from my organization that we are hiring. And I think, oh, I spoke with that person last week. I should forward this to them. So send a thank you email with your resume attached, and you just never know where that might lead. So this is informational interviewing is a form of networking. And here's just some general tips about networking. Sometimes when people hear this, they think, oh, it freaks them out a little bit. It's a pretty broad term. So here's some tips. It's a marathon, not a sprint. That means it should be something that we do as professionals the rest of our lives. We should always be trying to not only build our network, but maintain the network we have, stay in touch with people, and keep at it consistently. Even once you get your next position, always try to meet new people. I think that's on here. Keep trying to meet new people and really just keep expanding that network. Start with who you know. So the low-hanging fruit. Start with the people you know, reach out to them, educate them. Remember, I talked about marketing yourself. Educate them about who you are today and what you're looking for. And they can forward that email and that resume of yours on. Be curious, ask questions, always follow up, very important. Sometimes, devil's in the details. You send a follow-up email, a thank you. Even for people who do informational interviewing, 100% of them don't remember to send a thank you email. Not good, but you want to be in the group that does, and that might lead again to something else. Keep in contact, stay on their radar. With whom should I network? So here's a list of people that really you should consistently and frequently be reaching out to. Again, staying on their radar. Obviously, people you're currently working with or had worked with. Even if you're pivoting and going in a different direction, again, they may not be in the industry you're headed to, but they know people who know people who know people. So again, they could give you a weak tie. Family and friends, same philosophy there. You just never know who they know and how they might be able to assist you. Professional associations is a wonderful place to learn about the industry, have professional development opportunities in terms of conferences, webinars, seminars, newsletters, etc. But also, of course, organizations post positions with professional associations. And just knowing who are the members of that professional association, well, there's a list that you can network with. Your alma mater. So a lot of universities offer free or very reduced rates for career services. Um, and they have a lot of contacts and employers that work with them. Some larger universities have a uh, person and or an office specifically for alumni. But pretty much most universities will provide some service to you. So I would reach out or check out their website and see what they have to offer. I mentioned LinkedIn already. I'm pretty sure you're aware of what LinkedIn is, but it's the largest professional social networking site. And LinkedIn has many pieces to it. There's of a lot of resources in LinkedIn. They have a really great job board. Obviously, you need to work on getting your profile updated, as I already mentioned, and robust and professional and branded the way you want to present yourself today. But also, the other piece of LinkedIn is there are millions of other profiles. So, spending time researching companies, so typing in a company name and looking at who comes up, who's currently working there or did work there. You can also type, of course, people's names and reach out through LinkedIn. You can pay for a premium access, and usually it's pretty reasonable, and you can pay month to month or get a package of a few months at a little bit of a discount. And that affords you some more messaging through the system. You can always jump out of LinkedIn and try to research or find that person's email if it's not provided on LinkedIn and email them externally. But LinkedIn is critical as far as employer research, employer networking. So again, not only putting yourself out there, but really evaluating all the profiles that exist in there. The number two strategy is employer research. So, as I had mentioned in the previous slide, the majority of positions aren't posted on these mega sites. So, smart people research who could I work for? So, take a look at these three questions. Who are the employers in my desired field or industry? So, who are they? Who's hiring, right? So you might go to their website and find opportunities. Um, and then who are the people that are working or have worked at those companies? So LinkedIn is going to help with that. Obviously, just going directly to their websites. The message here is don't only look at lists of job openings. If you only approach your job search waiting for companies to post positions, you're missing out on the majority of positions and opportunities that are available in the country today. So your job should be approaching companies and, of course, people. And by companies, I mean hr@abccompany.com. But if you can find a contact, great. But really spend a lot of time, more time than applying, inquiring about opportunities. So, is there someone there with whom I could speak? Very interested in this type of role. Can you connect me with someone? Are you aware of any opportunities? And see what happens. And sometimes they take a look at these emails and applications. And frankly, it reinforces what's called the hidden job network, which means they're like, great, I didn't have to take the time or the money to post on these mega sites because smart people like you are approaching them and they get applications, they get emails, they're interested, they interview and hire. And again, it reinforces that hidden job network. So just some tips on managing your search. It can get really, of course, overwhelming. It's not a fun process to job search. Um, One thing you can see the circle there is a great strategy is create a spreadsheet, an Excel file of your target employers. So these are employers that I'm really interested in, and I'm going to consistently, once a week, once every few weeks, reach out, try to find a contact, inquire, apply. And you can see the first bullet here. Call or email if you don't find any openings, but you're interested in them. So even if when you go to their website, you don't see anything, don't let that stop you. Try to find an email and inquire. And then follow up, as I already mentioned. Yes, there are great job boards. People do find success. That's why they've been around quite a while. LinkedIn, as was mentioned, great job board. Indeed, Zippia, Glassdoor, Simply Hired. Those are some of the great, more well-known ones. But again, that's the minority of what opportunities are actually available. And of course, government sites, a different agency within the federal government, state or local government. So it's just some other thoughts there. Now let's talk about using AI. AI can afford you some really great resources and strategies. So when working on your resume, the first bullet there is have it pull from the job description. So let's say you do have a job description, you found a posting, and have it pull from that all the skills and requirements that are on your resume. So you can upload a resume draft into ChatGPT, for example, remove your identifying information, right? Name, email, phone number, but put it in and have it really make it a lot better, zhuzh it up. Prompt it to do specifically what you want. So you can even say, write a profile statement for me, leaning more heavily into my technical skills. Cover letter help. So you can prompt AI to generate a template that you can use and fill in the blanks. So your skills, your experience, your information. And when you see an advertisement, you can, or a job description, you can put that in with your resume, and then of course have it draft a stunning cover letter for you. The caveat here is just really you need to proof it, make sure it makes sense, make sure it's tailored to you. Uploading your resume does make it more tailored to you instead of a more generic version. So obviously before you forward anything or save and use, make sure it's appropriate. Now regarding job search, for AI, you could type in, review this job description and list at least 10 other jobs that are similar. Second one here, review this job description and provide companies that hire for similar roles. And then compare my resume with this job description to evaluate my capability and my skills gaps. And then work that into your interview, which is the next one. So you're a recruiter at ABC organization, you're interviewing candidates for this position. List 15 interview questions, list 30 interview questions. And a tip here is add the organization's mission and vision statements, and those questions will be even more tailored and appropriate. Then, this is my favorite, enter those questions that it just provided and ask for answers to them. So here are those 15 questions for this position. And here's my resume. What would be some appropriate answers to these questions? Beautiful, very helpful. Obviously, again, check it, make sure it's appropriate, make sure it sounds like you, and you can massage it the way you want it to be, but it will really give you some insight and be much more tailored to you when you upload your resume. Another tip with interviewing here is practice speaking your answers out loud. Too often we are in our head, that's not how we interview. So make sure when you get this information, and we talk about this in the interviewing workshop, which is next in the series, but practice saying these out loud will be very helpful. So that is a quick overview of some of the key components to a successful job search in 2025. If you have any questions or need any further assistance, you can reach out to the KU Career Center. And as was mentioned, I would definitely reach out to your alma mater to see what kind of resources and services they provide. I'll end with my favorite quote by Thomas Jefferson. It seems the harder I work, the luckier I get. It seems the harder I work, the luckier I get. So Keep at it. We realize it's not a fun process, but it's very rewarding in the end. Hopefully today you learned some new strategies to help you with your job search. Good luck.